Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Oxhorn, and it has been less than 24 hours since mods were officially released for Fallout 4 on the PlayStation 4. I published a speculative video a while back wondering what kind of mods we would find on the PlayStation 4. Now, we need no longer speculate. The reality is here. Even though mods were released yesterday, I waited until today to publish this video because I wanted to give the modding community at least 24 hours to produce some awesome mods for Fallout 4. This video is the best of what the community has published in less than 24 hours. This video does include a few cheats, but I'll try to focus my time on mods that I think have merit in their own right, aside from just adding cheats to the game. Some may argue that all mods are cheating, but that's just semantics. Note that some of these mods do contain endgame spoilers. Nothing too crazy, more along the lines of, oh, by the way, did you know you can destroy Faction X? That sort of thing. So, if you don't like those kind of spoilers, you might want to press back now. Let's get to the list. First on the list today is Cheat Container by VICYORUS. This mod adds a container just outside every single open-air settlement in the game, containing 10,000 of every consumable resource needed in the game, for a total of 60,000 crafting components in each container, equaling 1,740,000 components. The first thing I need to say is this is an extremely dangerous mod. If you loot every single container, and then dump all of that into one workshop, and then connect that workshop to all of your settlements by supply lines, you are going to severely lag your machine. The reason is every time you access your workshop in settlement build mode, the game goes through all of the available inventory in your machine when deciding what resources to allocate to your workshop mode when building. The more resources in your workshop, the slower the game gets. Now, normally you never notice this because you don't have 1,740,000 units of scrap connected between all of your workshops. But with this cheat, that becomes possible. So you need to be careful. My recommendation is if you do decide to use this cheat, only loot resources from the box and put them in your workshop as needed. At the worst, you should only loot one of these containers and put that in your workshop and consume all of that before you move on to looting any of the other containers. That still gives you 60,000 units of scrap to consume before you need to go empty another container. Also, as unlikely as it would be that you would ever consume 1.74 million pieces of scrap, if you ever do run out, all you gotta do is uninstall this mod, log back into the game, make a new save, log out, reinstall the mod, then log back into the game, and all of those containers will refill with scrap. Not that you'll ever need to do that, but in case you are building crazy settlements on the PlayStation 4, you have the ability. So, thank you for that nice cheat mod, VICYORUS. Next up is Unified Clothing Overhaul by ANDREWCX. There's a lot that this mod does. It's really cool. It allows all pieces of clothing, armor, hats, helmets, bandanas, and glasses the ability to be upgraded with ballistic weave and other linings. You can layer all of these items on top of each other so that adding a helmet doesn't necessarily take off your sunglasses, for example. The mod allows you to change the color of most of the items in the game, including armor, power armor, and your Pip-Boy. It allows you to make your armor invisible so that you can still get the benefit of wearing the armor while showing off the costume you're wearing underneath it. You can swap legendary effects, which means you can remove a legendary effect from one item and add it to another item. You can choose what type of armor it is, light, heavy, or sturdy, and a whole lot more. This mod author also has plugins available for a variety of different DLCs, so that even if you don't have the other DLCs, you can still install this one, because the DLCs are not required. For those of you who do use the DLCs, just install the patches to gain access to this mod's functionality for items that come with the DLC. This is sure to be a very popular mod for the PlayStation 4. Thank you, Andrew. Next up is another mod by Andrew, Unlock Ballistic Weave. This simple mod allows you to unlock Ballistic Weave even if you didn't side with the Railroad and you didn't do any of the Railroad quests. This is great for people who rushed through the main storyline before they even knew that Ballistic Weave existed and already killed the Railroad or sided with the Institute or something like that. It's a simple cheat that's going to make the game a lot more fun for many players. Thank you, Andrew. Next up is Institute Reclamation Chair, Assignable and Usable by WARMACHINEXO. I showed the PC version of this mod off during my top Institute mods video, and I figured I'd share it here just so that everybody knows that it is available on the PlayStation 4. It works like any other piece of furniture in your settlement. The only difference is that there is an option that makes this chair a scavenging station so that you can assign settlers to it to produce scrap for your settlements. This is going to be great for an Institute playthrough where you're role-playing that you've got some sort of facility where you're reclaiming synths that have gone rogue. Just assign a settler to this chair and the settler will begin generating resources. Very cool mod, thank you. Next up is Static Baskets and Bins by BLUNDERFURY. I also reviewed this mod in a previous video. It's super simple. It simply adds steel containers, trash cans, office baskets, plastic containers, woven baskets, wooden crates, boxes, plastic crates, bottle boxes, shopping containers, and a whole lot more to your settlement build menu. These items, which are often overlooked, are actually the key to making your settlements look lived in. If you take a look at any of the settlements or interior places that Bethesda has actually decorated, you notice that they use these all over the place to add a bit of clutter and realism to their world. Now, with this mod, you can too. Thank you very much, BLUNDERFURY. Next up is Portable NUKA JETPACK for PS4 by NUKA. NUKA. Finally, at long last, the JETPACK arrives to the PlayStation 4. Now, due to the restrictions that Sony has given Bethesda and the modding community, there will be no JETPACK mod for the PlayStation 4 that has a unique, lovely JETPACK mesh. So, this mod author had to scratch build something with assets that already existed in the game. This is why he chose to use the NUKA Girl outfit from NUKA World. It's the only outfit in the game that has anything that could potentially be a jetpack strapped to it. Also, since the flame animation for jetpacks is directed by scripts, this mod author was unable to change the location of the flame animation for this jetpack. So when you use it, the flames appear underneath your feet. There's nothing he can do about that. That's a limitation from Sony, not a limitation of this mod. So, at long last, you finally do have a jetpack. It comes with some limitations that we sadly can't get over, but it does work. Now you can jump around the wasteland without having to first don a suit of power armor. Thank you, Ian. Next up is Buffed Minuteman Militia by DRAGONOVITH. I reviewed this mod in my Minuteman mod roundup, and it's a wonderful, lightweight little mod. What it does is it edits the Minuteman leveled lists, improving the gear that they spawn with based on the player's level. So when you use the flare gun to summon the Minutemen, or when you stumble upon Minuteman patrols in the game, they always wear rags, dirty clothing, and they're usually carrying a pipe rifle. The problem is that as you level in the game, their gear never changes. The gear of everyone else changes. The gunners get better gear, super mutants get better gear, raiders start spawning in power armor, but for some reason the Minutemen still carry around pipe rifles. This mod fixes it so that their leveled lists scale with your level. At level 5, you could find them walking around with a shotgun or a combat rifle. At level 10, you could find them walking around with assault rifles. At level 34, they could spawn with a laser rifle, and at level 38, they could have a plasma gun. Additionally, Minutemen will now always wear their distinctive Minuteman hats, instead of the green rag hat or something silly like that. Now you can always distinguish Minutemen from other NPCs in the game. This is a wonderful addition, thank you DRAGONOVITH. Next up is Better Institute Synth Relay Grenades by STIFFYWOODS. This is a fun mod that I reviewed in my Best Institute Mods Roundup, and now it's available on the PlayStation 4. It's a super lightweight mod that simply adds one ESP to your load order, so it's perfectly suited for the PlayStation 4. This mod gives you a bunch of different options of relay grenades to purchase from the synth vendor in the Institute. Now, instead of summoning some flimsy Gen 1 synth every time you throw one of the relay grenades, you can instead use grenades that summon Gen 2 synths, Gen 3 synths, coursers, synth gorillas, and even power armor wielding Generation 2 eradicator synths. After they kill your enemies for you, they'll follow you around and guard you until they die. This is a fun little mod. Thank you, STIFFWOODS. Next up is Scrap Skeletons, Hedges, Mole Rat Holes, and More by Elric. This is very similar to a mod that I've been using for a long time called Scrap Dead Things. This mod allows you to scrap dead things. If you go to the Sunshine Tidings co-op, you kill all the ghouls and their ghoul bodies, stick around forever, and the skeletons that you find in all of the little houses stick around forever. You can't scrap them, you can't do anything with them. This mod fixes it. Now you can scrap dead things. It also gives you the option to scrap some trash lying around. Not quite as much as spring cleaning, but you can use this mod to clean up your settlements a bit. You can even use it to scrap those buggy turrets in Covenant, as long as they're still intact. This is a great functional utilitarian mod by Elric. Thank you very much. Next up is Gorillas for All by Andronicus. Did you know that there were gorillas in this game? In some of my past videos, I showed off the guard gorilla, and I kept having these comments from people saying, what mod gave you a gorilla in Fallout 4? Or, this is too lore-breaking for me. I don't think gorillas should exist in Fallout 4. Without realizing that the gorillas are not from a mod, it's actually from Fallout 4. If you destroyed the Institute, and if you chose to evacuate the Institute, instead of just killing them all, then you have an option with Wasteland Workshop to erect gorilla cages that catch synth gorillas. You can then use them in your settlements as guards. The problem, of course, is that there's no big alert as you're killing the Institute saying, warning, if you don't rescue everybody, you miss out on getting guard gorillas. This mod fixes it. This mod allows you to capture gorillas with Wasteland Workshop even if you sided with the Institute or if you chose to not evacuate the Institute. It's sure to be a lot of fun for a whole lot of people. Thank you very much, Andronicus. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that video. Isn't it amazing how many awesome mods the modding community has created for the PlayStation 4 in less than 24 hours? I stayed up late last night watching the mods roll in one after another so that I could add them to this video, and this was the cream of the crop. What did you think of this list? Are you impressed at what modders were able to make so quickly? What are some of the mods that you are hoping to see on the PlayStation 4? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I create a new Fallout 4 video every single day of the week. I've been covering some of the best mods for PCs and the Xbox, and now that the PlayStation 4 has mods, I will be making videos like this for the PlayStation 4 as well. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can get notified the next time I publish a new video. If you like this video and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. Patreon subscribers gain access to my private Discord server, as well as a bunch of other cool Oxhorn perks. But more than anything, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow morning bright and early with a brand new video.